Ever since the success of Nintendo and Rare's take on the James Bond film GoldenEye, the world's most famous secret agent has been cast in first-person shooter after first-person shooter. Electronic Arts seems like it's been trying, with varying levels of success, to recapture the magic of Rare's classic Nintendo 64 game. But for an agent as versatile as James Bond, casting him into a shooter has always felt a little limiting. Electronic Arts has finally come to this conclusion, it seems, as its latest Bond game, Everything or Nothing, is a third-person action game that blends shooting, driving, and other types of action together in a seamless fashion, delivering an awesome experience that puts you in 007's shoes better than any game to come before it. The majority of the action in Everything or Nothing consists of third-person action, with a heavy emphasis on shooting and hiding behind cover. One button allows you to lock your aim onto an enemy. From there, you can use the right analog stick to further refine your aim. From either a ducking position or from hiding around a corner, you can simply hit the fire button to have James pop out, fire off a shot or two, and then get right back into hiding. This mechanic is fun, and it works well. However, it tends to work a little too well at times, as Bond's aim is perfect every single time. This action gets mixed up with some occasional hand-to-hand combat, stealth scenarios, and some repelling action peppered in. But on-foot action isn't all you'll be doing. Everything or Nothing also contains a fairly robust driving engine, and you'll be in control of a few different vehicles over the course of the game. Most of the driving missions center on giving you a destination and leaving the route up to you. Most of the driving levels have a few different paths, which leaves it very open-ended. Early on, you'll be on a motorcycle and be trying to catch up with a train. That's pretty cool. Some of your vehicles are armed in true James Bond fashion, so you'll be firing rockets from your Porsche or shooting flames out the sides of your Q-bike. It's all very cool and very well done. When it comes to cool, James Bond is certainly one of cool's classic definitions. There's a lot more to the suave secret agent than just shooting people and driving cars. Everything or Nothing tries to capture this additional level of the character with what the game calls Bond moments. Each level has a few Bond moments that you can trigger. These range from jumping rooftop to rooftop on a motorcycle to massaging a woman lying down on a table. Some of these optional sequences are definitely cooler than the others, but the ones that stand out are amazingly awe-inspiring. These earn you additional points, which at the end of a level can be spent to unlock bonus features. In addition to a stellar single-player game, Everything or Nothing has a very interesting multiplayer component. With the exception of the competitive arena mode, the game's multiplayer is cooperative, so your team of two will have to work together to achieve your goals. Some of this is as simple as hitting two buttons simultaneously to open a door or a gate, but it gets more complex as you move along. The co-op game can be played in 3 different modes. Cooperative mode is the basic finish the mission mode. Race puts your mission up against a clock. Scramble puts a score into the mix, and though you're still cooperating with the other player, you're also trying to achieve the highest score. Arena is a pure competitive mode that pits you against your fellow agents and allows up to 4 players. It's a nice addition, though the co-op is really much, much better. The split-screen multiplayer works very well, but the PlayStation 2 version goes the extra mile and offers online play too. Since communication and timing are both key to the game's co-op levels, you really need to use a headset to relay information to the other player. The online play option is a really nice touch that adds a little more replay depth to an already option-heavy game. Graphically, James Bond has never looked better. Even the PlayStation 2 version contains a crispness to its textures and models that you don't normally expect from the system. The other platforms look a little bit cleaner, but the differences are quite minimal. The game moves at a good, smooth speed and frame rate, with the lone exception being a few of the game's effects-heavy cutscenes. Occasional moments of slowdown occur, but these are minor things in light of how great the rest of the game looks. The voice acting is nicely done, particularly from the seasoned actors and actresses such as Pierce Brosnan, Judi Dench, John Cleese, and Willem Dafoe. The music, complete with a theme song from Maya and yet another new take on the famous Bond music, fits the action like a glove and really gives the game part of its cinematic feel. Finally, the game's sound effects are also well done, from rocket launches to dramatic explosions to the sounds of motorcycles racing up the road. When you add it all up, Everything or Nothing isn't without fault, but it's still a really great game. Perhaps the best James Bond game ever made. While some may still hold nostalgia-filled memories for the classic first-person shooting of GoldenEye, Everything or Nothing does an amazing job of including a lot of different gameplay elements and making them work. It also does a fantastic job of capturing the different sides of the James Bond character, which a lot of the previous games have either overlooked or simply tacked on in the cutscenes. If you've ever wanted to spend a day in 007's shoes, Everything or Nothing does the job.